My Stepfather's Forbidden Love, a shocking story of betrayal and secrets. Hi, I'm Elena. I'm 22 years old, and this is my real-life story of forbidden love. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's a story that changed my life forever. Sometimes, the truth is stranger than fiction, and this is one of those times. It all started 3 years ago, when my mother remarried. After years of struggling to raise me alone, she met Daniel, a man who seemed like the perfect partner. He was charismatic, successful, and showered her with the kind of attention she'd been missing for years. For me, Daniel was initially just my stepfather, polite, charming, and distant. I kept my focus on college and didn't pay much attention to him. But over time, his behavior toward me started to shift. At first, it was small things, compliments that felt just a little too personal, lingering glances that made me uncomfortable. I brushed it off, convincing myself I was imagining things. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. One night, during a family dinner, Daniel said something that made the room go silent. "Elena, you remind me of someone I used to love deeply." My mother laughed nervously, brushing it off as a harmless comment, but I could feel the tension in the air. I avoided eye contact and excused myself as quickly as I could. It wasn't long before Daniel found an opportunity to talk to me alone. One evening, while my mother was away visiting relatives, he knocked on my bedroom door. "I need to tell you something, Elena," he said, his voice low and filled with hesitation. I froze, unsure of what to expect. What he said next turned my world upside down. "I think I've fallen for you," he confessed. "I know it's wrong, but I can't deny my feelings anymore." I was stunned. This man, my stepfather, had just crossed a line I never thought possible. "Daniel, this is wrong. You're married to my mother," I said, my voice shaking. But he didn't stop there. He tried to justify his feelings, claiming he and my mother weren't as close as they once were and that I had awakened something in him. Terrified and confused, I decided to confide in my best friend, Sophie. She was outraged and urged me to tell my mother immediately. But I hesitated, afraid it would destroy our family. Instead, I began to distance myself from Daniel, avoiding him whenever possible. But that didn't stop him from trying. One day, while searching for my laptop charger in the living room, I stumbled upon something shocking, an old photo album hidden under the couch. Inside were pictures of Daniel with another woman. At first, I thought it was from a previous relationship, but as I flipped through the pages, I noticed something chilling. The dates on the photos overlapped with his relationship with my mother. Daniel wasn't just crossing boundaries with me. He was living a double life. I couldn't stay silent any longer. Armed with the photo album, I confronted him while my mother was at work. "Daniel, who is this?" I demanded, holding up the photos. His face turned pale, and he tried to grab the album from me, but I stood my ground. "You think you can manipulate me? Manipulate my mother? It's over." I recorded the entire confrontation on my phone, capturing his stammering excuses and half-hearted apologies. When I showed the evidence to my mother, I expected her to break down. But instead, she looked at me with a mix of anger and sadness. "There's something I haven't told you, Elena," she said, her voice trembling. "Daniel isn't just your stepfather. He's your biological father." The room spun. My mother explained that Daniel was someone she'd loved in her youth, but had kept a secret for years. She had reconnected with him after my birth, and they decided to give their relationship another chance. The revelation left me reeling. The man I thought was simply my stepfather had not only betrayed my mother but also carried a dark, twisted secret that shattered our family. We cut ties with Daniel immediately. My mother and I began therapy to process the layers of betrayal and rebuild our trust. It wasn't easy, but over time, we found strength in each other. Looking back, I realized this experience taught me invaluable lessons about boundaries, self-worth, and the importance of speaking up when something feels wrong. This is my story, a story of betrayal, secrets, and ultimately, resilience. To anyone going through something similar, know that you are not alone. Trust your instincts and don't be afraid to seek help. This story is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there's always a way forward. If you or someone you know is dealing with a complicated or harmful family dynamic, don't hesitate to reach out for support.